Milkyway, Milk token, has been listed over on BitGet, and we can grab our share of over 1 million Milk token here. And in this video, I'm going to explain how users, developers, and investors can make money by getting involved with this token. So I wanted to start out my research right at the source, and I went over to the website. I grabbed all the details here. Then I learned about restaking your assets. I went over to their docs and I gathered that up. I gathered up their white paper. I found their blog over on Medium, and I added all of their authors over onto Digital Currency Traders. I hope they submit an article for us. I also gathered a bunch of different articles from their blog. I just copied and pasted the text into Google LM. And finally, I went over to YouTube and I started to gather all the sources that I could find, all the good ones that I could find about the Milky Way project, the Milk token. And I brought all of those resources over into Google LM. But I also did some more research, and I used this discover sources, and I did a search, and I found a whole bunch more resources too to add to the pile. Some really great stuff. After I had all of the resources added, I asked the LM to give me a summary of the project. The benefits does it provide? Tell me what problems does it solve? And how can users, developers, and investors make money from getting involved? Then I had the LM produce the briefing document, the timeline of the entire project, a study guide, and a frequently asked question. And I put the highlights of all of those resources into a PDF down below, so you can just click on that and get all of this information instantly. And the final step is to generate a conversation based on all of these resources that is going to explain to us the project, the benefits, the problems that it solves, and how we can make money by getting involved. Now I have this audio podcast conversation queued up so we can just sit back and learn about the project.
Securing your slice of the decentralized future, launching a new blockchain or maybe an off-chain service, it often feels like you're staring down just a massive bill and a mountain of complexity.
Oh, absolutely. Bootstrapping your own security, trying to convince people to stake with you. It's a real hurdle, isn't it?
Totally. And then you've got this fragmented security problem. When security is scattered all over different networks, well, we've seen the domino effect. Think about those bridge exploits.
Yeah, exactly. A weak link anywhere can cause problems everywhere in the ecosystem. It's a systemic risk, really.
Okay, let's unpack this because there's a pretty fascinating approach emerging here. And hey, if you're keen to stay ahead of the curve in decentralized tech, definitely hit that subscribe button. We've got lots more insights like this coming your way.
Well, what's fascinating to me is this fundamental challenge of trust in a decentralized world. The traditional way, isolated security zones for every single new project. It's not just costly. It inherently creates fragmentation and potential points of failure. This is a core tension, especially as the blockchain space moves towards more modularity.
Exactly. And that's where our deep dive takes us today to Milky Way. They're stepping right into this modular ecosystem.
Okay.
They're positioned as the first and largest protocol offering both liquid staking and restaking.
Yeah.
Directly tackling this fragmented trust issue.
And the numbers seem to back that up, right? Yeah. What was it, over $51 million in TVL already?
Yeah, in less than 2 months. That kind of rapid adoption, it really suggests they're hitting a nerve, something people need.
That swift growth certainly points to strong market demand. People want solutions that improve capital efficiency, and they want more robust shared security. It makes sense. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, modularity, where different chains specialize, well, having a way to consolidate security across these diverse layers becomes incredibly valuable.
So think of this as your shortcut to understanding Milky Way. We're going to break down liquid staking and restaking specifically within their system.
Right.
We'll show you whether you're a user, maybe a developer, or an investor, how this could potentially benefit you. We're aiming for those kind of aha moments, but, without the headache of information overload.
Which raises the big question. How does Milky Way actually pull this off? The core innovation, it really lies in what's called restaking.
Restaking, okay.
Yeah, imagine your staked assets on one blockchain.
Yeah.
Being able to work a second job, basically. Securing other services at the same time. It's about leveraging that existing staked capital to provide security more efficiently.
Right, a sort of dual protocol approach, which Milky Way has built for this modular space. Look, for you, the listener, trying to balance earning rewards with needing access to your assets, traditional staking can feel like a trade-off, right?
Totally. You'll lock up your tokens to earn, but then, bam, they're illiquid. You can't touch them.
And for developers launching new apps, securing your project from scratch is just incredibly expensive and time-consuming. So Milky Way is proposing a different model here. liquid staking and restaking.
And that combination is really the key. Liquid staking tackles the user's dilemma. It issues a liquid derivative token, right? A tradable token representing their staked assets.
So you still get rewards, but you can use this other token.
Exactly. You earn staking rewards, and you can use that derivative, like Milky, in other DeFi activities. Then, restaking takes those underlying staked assets and lets them secure a wider range of services. It boosts network resilience, capital utilization, the works.
And the potential upside here seems pretty significant. For users, you could be looking at what some people are calling triple returns.
Triple returns, explain that.
Well, you get your standard staking rewards, then potentially additional yield from using your liquid tokens, your Milk assets in DeFi, and then further rewards from restaking those underlying assets to secure other protocols.
Okay, wow. That's quite a stack. And for developers?
Huge potential benefit. Instead of needing to attract their own massive staking community, they can just tap into this existing pool of staked capital. Yeah. It could dramatically lower the barrier to entry.
Yeah, the potential to slash the security bootstrapping overhead for developers, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Seriously, it lets them focus their resources on, innovation, building their actual product.
Instead of getting bogged down in security costs.
Exactly, not getting bogged down in the complexity and cost of setting up independent security.
Now, speaking of navigating this space, if you're thinking about trading or getting involved, our partners at BitGet offer a platform. And quick mention, you can save 20% on your trading fees there using our referral code BitGetDeal.
BitGetDeal, got it.
Yep, you'll find that in the show notes. And keep an eye out because BitGet is actually planning to list the Milk token, that's Milky Way's native token, on April 29th, 2025.
The Milk token listing. That'll be a pretty big step for Milky Way, definitely. Increases visibility, accessibility, all that good stuff in the wider crypto market.
So let's zoom in a bit more. What is Milky Way, fundamentally? At its core, it's a modular staking portal built with the Cosmos SDK and Comet BFT.
Okay, standard Cosmos stack.
Yeah. Think of it as a specialized platform designed specifically for liquid staking and restaking within this modular ecosystem. Right now, they're focused on assets like TIA, that's Celestia's token.
Right.
And they've got plans to include others, like INIT from Initia, and that native Milk token we just mentioned, slated for launch in the first half of 2025.
And that foundation, built on Cosmos SDK and Comet BFT, that's strategically important,
Yeah.
It leverages IBC, the Interblockchain Communication Protocol.
The universal translator.
Pretty much. It enables that seamless interaction within the whole modular ecosystem. Crucial piece.
Okay, let's spell out those benefits clearly. For you as a user, staking your TIA through Milky Way means you keep earning those rewards, but your TIA isn't just locked away doing nothing else.
You get the liquid version.
You get Milk TIA, yep, the liquid version, which you can then take and use in various DeFi apps to potentially earn even more. And then there's the restaking part, offering potential for additional rewards on top.
Plus, didn't early stakers get TIA airdrops too?
They did. That was a nice bonus for getting in early.
So the key user benefit is really maintaining that liquidity while still earning staking rewards. It unlocks so much flexibility, lets you participate more actively across DeFi without sacrificing your core staking income.
Okay, now flip side. Developers building these new decentralized services, these AVSs, actively validated services. Imagine this. Instead of creating your own token, building a validator community from scratch.
Which is a massive undertaking.
Huge. You can essentially tap into a shared security layer provided by Milky Way. They're even developing customizable security models. You can set specific rules for who delegates their stake to secure your service.
That customization for security parameters is powerful. It allows a much more tailored approach. AVSs can define rules that fit their specific risk profile, their operational needs.
Yeah, seems like it could be a massive shortcut, save significant time, significant money in getting a project off the ground.
Definitely.
What about folks looking to invest or provide liquidity? What's in it for them?
Well, you get to be part of this growing modular DeFi and restaking space, which is pretty exciting in itself. And with the Milk token coming, there's the potential for its value to grow as the protocol gets adopted and generates revenue.
Right, value accrual.
Exactly. And providing liquidity to trading pools that involve Milk assets, or the Milk token itself on DEXs. That's another way to get involved. Earn fees, potentially.
And the Milk token design itself, it seems aimed at aligning everyone's incentives. Revenue sharing, governance rights. It encourages a strong, active community around the protocol.
That alignment is crucial for long-term success.
So boiling it down, what are the core problems Milky Way is really trying to tackle here?
Okay, number one, that classic dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Choosing between staking rewards and having liquid assets.
Yeah.
They aim to solve that with milk assets.
Got it. Liquidity dilemma.
Number two, fragmented security. All these separate security zones across different networks and services, they're offering a more unified, shared solution.
Makes sense. Shared security.
And number three, the high cost and sheer complexity of bootstrapping security for new decentralized projects. They're providing a potentially much more efficient alternative through restaking.
Bootstrapping costs. Right. These are pretty fundamental challenges, haven't they? Sort of hindered scalability and security in the wider decentralized world.
Absolutely. They've been real roadblocks. So by addressing these pain points, Milky Way is contributing to, hopefully, a more interconnected and efficient modular future.
Okay, let's talk brass tacks. How can different people potentially make money or benefit financially from getting involved with Milky Way? Let's start with users again.
Okay, users. Well, first, the staking rewards on your initial assets, like TIA. That's the baseline.
Standard staking.
Then, the additional yield you might earn by using your liquid milk TIA in various DeFi protocols. That's layer 2.
DeFi yield.
And then, potentially, more rewards through restaking for securing those other AVSs. That's layer 3, the triple return potential we mentioned.
Okay. And maybe down the line.
And down the line, yeah. Holding milk tokens could mean getting a share of the protocol's earnings through revenue sharing.
Gotcha. So, multiple potential income streams for users. What about the developers building those AVSs? How do they benefit financially?
For them, the financial benefit is more on the cost-saving side. They pay fees to the Milky Way restaking layer to secure their services. But this could be significantly less expensive than building and maintaining their own entire security infrastructure from scratch.
Right. It's leveraging an existing system.
Exactly. It's an economy of scale for security. They access robust security potentially at a much lower cost.
Okay. And investors?
Investors, well, holding and potentially trading the milk token is the obvious route. As Milky Way grows, sees adoption, generates fees, the token's value could theoretically increase.
Oh, dynamics.
Yep. And also, providing liquidity, like we mentioned, supplying milk or milk assets to DEX pools can earn trading fees and potentially other LP incentives.
Okay, so direct investment or providing liquidity. And finally, what about the operators, the validators?
Validators. For them, Milky Way offers a chance to expand their revenue streams by validating multiple AVSs secured through Milky Way.
So they're not just validating the base layer anymore.
Correct. They can earn fees from each of those AVSs they help secure, on top of the standard staking rewards from the base layer, like Celestia. It leverages their existing infrastructure for more income.
Interesting. So multiple ways for different participants to potentially gain.
Yeah, the model seems designed to create value across the board, ideally.
Okay, so that's a pretty comprehensive look at Milky Way, what it is, the problems it's solving, and who might benefit. If you found this deep dive valuable, folks, and you want to stay plugged into the cutting edge of blockchain innovation, well, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Definitely. Projects like Milky Way are really at the forefront, shaping what the future of blockchain architecture might look like. Understanding these mechanisms is pretty crucial for anyone trying to navigate this constantly evolving landscape.
All right, let's wrap up with a quick recap and look ahead. Milky Way's core mission, basically, to become the main liquidity and security hub for the whole modular ecosystem.
Yeah, offering these innovative liquid staking and restaking solutions. It's about maximizing opportunities for users, improving capital efficiency system-wide.
And minimizing that security bootstrapping headache for developers. That's the goal.
And the project's still evolving, right? The Milk token launch is coming up in H1 2025. They're expanding restaking to more assets, more services. You hear names like Babylon and Nisha.
Yeah. And they're continuously developing those programmable security rules we talked about. Plus, they recently closed a $1 million funding round on Echo's T-Club group, which shows continued backing.
That funding injection will certainly help fuel further development.
So if you want to dig deeper yourself, definitely check out their website, milkyway.zone. That's milkyway.zone.
Yeah, explore the documentation there. They've got a white paper for the really deep technical architecture and tokenomics dive.
And you can join their community, too. They're active on Discord, Telegram, and X, formerly Twitter. Good place to ask questions.
For the technically inclined, the GitHub repos are available, too. Milky Way Labs Architecture and Milky Way Labs Milky Way. And post-listing, places like the MEXC blog might have guides on Milky Way and the Milk token.
Lots of resources out there. Okay, final thought to leave you with. How might these shared security models, like what Milky Way is building, fundamentally reshape how we build and secure decentralized applications in this evolving modular world?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is fragmented security a thing of the past? Could shared restake security become the new standard? Lots to think about.
Definitely something to mull over. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.